you ever look through that camera? Huh? Out. Out, now.
She's scared if she loses the show, her career's over.
Probably is.
She's scared she won't be able to support us.
So get jobs, because it's happening. She's losing it.
There's lots of ways we could be spending that money.
We have to sell this place, don't we?
I want you to watch Lonnie. You're the only one I trust.
We gotta go. Judy's really sick. She won't leave her room. You're doing the show.
What?
Judy wants you to do the show. If you look right down the barrel of the lens, right into their eye, and tell them they need to have it, they'll pick up the phone and call. I promise you she will be good.
Anything else?
No? Judy's giving you the show. She wants you to take over.
What is it with you two?
How do you mean?
Entitlement.
It went great. People actually called in today.
That's great.
I know.
Guys just called. They want you to come to dinner. You too, Todd. Thank you. Where's Judy?
So sorry, Judy sends her regards. She couldn't make it.
We like what we see, so we want you to keep doing it.
Yeah. This is the start of something epic and new.
We need to find her.
Maybe she doesn't want to be found.
What are you doing?
I was looking for the cat.
Did you cut yourself? Lots of blood.
Something's wrong. Oh. Hey, check this out. Going in her room like that uninvited. Don't let her catch you doing that again.
Thought I had all your little schemes figured out.
Okay, perfect. I just finished The Grandson earlier this morning, so that was I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
It definitely. When I saw the poster art, I was like, okay, I think I know what to expect. And then I watched the whole thing. I was like, wow, that was really dark.
Right? Yeah. It certainly goes there to a very, very dark place.
So, how did you get associated with this picture?
It came to me through an agent quite a while ago, and there were a couple of delays in the process, and but we ended up shooting it, and then the post stage was fairly long, but it just came to me through my agents at ICM, and I really like Robert. I think that his collaborative attitude made me excited to play, this protagonist who is also kind of a villain in a way. I think I really like the natural conflict that comes with that. So that was really fun.
Now, I don't want to give too much away for anybody that wants to watch it, but I'm not sure if your character is actually a protagonist at all. I'm not sure. It's not. There's no real gray area. He is very manipulative, and
right.
But you can't stop watching him for some reason. You want to know what he does next. How hard was that to get into that kind of character? Because that seems like it would be pretty taxing mentally.
It really was quite taxing, if I'm honest. It's quite taxing when you're spending a lot of energy trying to find an empathetic perspective into an otherwise psychotic view of things, or a sociopathic maybe perspective of reality. It's difficult because you have to really feel for that person if you're going to play them. Otherwise, it's just going to be trite. It's not going to work. So yeah, it was really exhausting, man. It was a lot. It was pretty dark.
To put it into context for our listeners, your character lives with his sister and your grandmother. And how did that situation come to be? I don't know if I missed it while watching it or it just isn't explained, but how did they find themselves in this situation?
So that was sort of part of Robert's vision or feeling, I think, where it's just kind of hit the ground running and playing catch up, which is such a real thing. I think of so many uber wealthy people, you're sort of left wondering, like, really, how did this happen, or how did these people get to this situation that is so unique and different to the rest of us? So, I mean, the subtext that we had created was that both the grandfather and our character's parents had sort of passed away in some kind of tragic accident, and we had the grandmother had inherited her grandchildren, and we had inherited her fortune, basically. So it was this kind of transaction that was taking place, and it was all very colorful characters, let's say.
Was it all shot at the same house?
It was, actually, yeah. So we shot it at this historic estate. It's now called the Paramore Estate, but it was previously called the Cansfield Merino Estate. And it's pretty amazing. Like, it's this spectacularly lavish house that used to be owned by, I think, a silent movie star who drove over the cliff of Mulholland, like, back in the 30s. And, you know, like, just like, it has some seriously strange and interesting darkness, I think, that's happened there. But also Halloween H2O shot there. Remember that Halloween iteration? And I totally fanboyed. I thought that was pretty cool. I only recognized it because of the kitchen dumbwaiter. There's this, like, very violent scene in Halloween H2O where...
Yeah, with I think it was a broken leg, with like a compound fracture. I remember that scene.
I was like, I've only seen these in a movie that I really enjoyed called Halloween H2O, and then it was in fact the same door.
And it seems like lighting was very minimal throughout this film. Everything is very dark and very moody. How did... I'm trying to see how to word this right. How did the lighting play as a character? Was it its own entity, or was it just a byproduct of the way the scenes had to be lit?
I believe it really was quite specific. Our DP, Carlo Jelovich, is this German fellow who I think is really talented, and he had really mapped out this kind of sense of when he wanted it to feel sensual, for lack of a better word, or maybe a kind of strange eroticism, and then like a harshness. I think he wanted to create this conflict throughout. It was kind of like the character's journey in a way. There's this like perverse sexuality that's this through line throughout. Not to go like totally off topic by bringing up such like a theme and how that would play in lighting, but I do think that he had a sense of conflict where he wanted there to be two sort of feelings throughout.
Well, your character seems to be very primal. His main instinct seems to be survive in the lifestyle he's accustomed to, and to fuck.
Right.
that seems to be. He is very just. He is this primordial force that just he wants to survive, and just like anything that hoves into his field of view is just like, I'm gonna have that. Completely.
I agree. I think that's honestly, I mean, he's like this naked ape that is dressed up in these nice clothes, and these fancy, rich things, and really he is completely disgustingly primitive and really an awful person to exist in society. But I don't know. I thought it was really interesting to see this, like, someone who should be in this high society, super civilized way of life, who would run on such carnal desires. It's kind of weird and cool to me.
It seems like there was a moment where I kind of felt for him as a human being. It seems like when he's in the presence of his girlfriend, when he's not trying to manipulate someone else, he seems to have a genuine relationship with her. He seems to care for her and has plans for his future with her. Is that just part of his scheming, or does he actually have a heart?
I think that he has a few hearts. I think that he gets lost in his own scheming so much down his own rabbit holes of lies that he forgets what is real and what isn't. And I do think that he was probably entered that situation manipulating it and then warmed to her in the sense that he has no mother and his grandmother was devoid of all of those motherly traits. I did want us to like feel that there was a soft side to this boy, this child maybe, rather than this man that's trying to manipulate the rest of the world. But then I do think, like a light switch, you can sort of wake up to the original manipulation and turn, as I think that a lot of sociopathic people can do.
It seems like when she's out of his sight, he reverts back to his normal self, but when she's there, he's more tame. He's almost leashed in a way.
Totally. Like this sort of boyish child that comes out of him in his presence.
How was it working with Lesley Ann Warren?
It was so lovely, wonderful. I think that she is so talented and such a... It's so cool to meet someone who is as experienced as she is and has had the sort of credentials that she has under her belt and can still be so curious and interested and excited to deliver something different and deliver something strange. I think the fact that she was so like cool and able to embrace the story that Robert was trying to tell, I think that's just I have such admiration for her as an artist, as an actor. So it was a real pleasure, honestly.
Oh, I'd kill to be able to work with her. If I wasn't a failed actor, I would still be trying to get a role next time.
Yeah, man, it was truly amazing. Like, and you hear her talk about when she met Walt Disney, like when she was working on the Disney studios back when she was working with them. I mean, it's pretty amazing that she just has this experience.
There's quite a bit of tension between you and her in the first part of the film, the first act. How much did you have to work with each other to nail that tension, that kind of inner fighting that goes on between you two?
Yeah, we wanted it to be very much. She was very warm to me from the very beginning, and I think that we were both very cognizant of this like secret relationship that they had that was almost expressed with their eyes, in the same way that a cat might. There's sort of this feeling that they were both these house cats that would just sort of hang out with each other and manipulate the world around them. So it was nice. It was really nice to get close to a woman like Lesley Ann Warren and an artist like her so quickly because of the project. So it was fun. We sort of mapped out really their subtext and at what times they love each other, at what other times they hate each other. So it was fun.
There was some on-screen manipulation that she got to do, especially with the maintenance guy. Was there any more of that got cut from the film?
I don't believe so. I don't think so. It was. She was. I'm scared it'll be like a spoiler or something, but
it's hard not to because you could spoil it like within the first 30 minutes.
yeah, it's like kind of fine line. It's quite a dance.
I think we could say that Lesley Ann Warren's character, the grandmother, is the catalyst for a majority of the movie.
Yes.
So something happens to her that has to set off a series of events that make up a majority of the film. I think we could say that and probably...
That's a very diplomatic and beautiful eloquent way of putting it.
So when you were all at the scene with the dinner table and in comes our maintenance guy, our foil, just to watch her just kind of just pick at the sister character by just kind of planting that seed of doubt that something might be going on between all three, but I wish there had been a little bit more of that, because just watching her kind of be coy and be catty was so fun.
Right. I totally agree. I wish there was more of it as well. I think she's so enjoyable to watch. She's so trying.
It was such a joy to see her in that kind of role.
Yeah.
As far as the symbolism in the movie, there's quite a bit of it. What do you think was the most potent piece of symbolism in the film for you?
For me, in terms of characterization, I would say the greatest symbolism was the cat, just because I based my character around the general physicality and sort of energy of a cat, which maybe sounds wanky, but it was that kind of energy, like sort of slinking around and watching things and being somewhat threatening without really saying much. That's at least how I feel about cats. I think they're kind of wonderful and frightening creatures. But yeah, so I would say that was the biggest element for me. A lot of the sort of more angelic structures and statues came together in the cut as part of Robert's vision, which I think is a cool sort of aspect that speaks to some themes throughout the film.
What was your favorite scene in the film?
I suppose my favorite scene would be the dinner table, where we were all there together, able to sort of bounce off of each other and have this kind of really weird, bombastic, and strange dinner conversation. It's like it should have felt very domestic and pleasant, but it feels very upside down and gross.
It feels like it's kind of its own, like you all operate in your own world away from reality.
Exactly. Which I think in many ways is like very LA, very, very Hollywood, and
yes.
you know, this like bubble of existence, this like entitled opinion that can come with this city.
The movie it's not lax on dialogue, but it's not there to force information on you. How difficult is it to portray a character who's not always explaining his motives and explaining his emotions? Was that a difficult process to get down?
I think there was something quite European in Robert's approach to how he wanted the film and the character to feel. Just in the sense where we're kind of left projecting our own, our own introspection or our own thoughts of what they're thinking or what they want into them rather than in telling them. So that was interesting. I quite enjoyed it as an artist, honestly. It was less conventional, maybe. And yeah, I know that movies like Purple Moon and Girl with a Suitcase were big aesthetic inspirations for him. So I think there's something inherently old-timey European to his filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. It definitely has a German essence to it. It's almost expressionist. If it were entirely black and white, I would say it would be an expressionist film. But it's very beautiful. It is a beautiful film.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they shot it so lovely. It looks beautiful.
And it's hard to talk about the later part of the movie without giving too much away, but what do you feel is the ultimate fate for the brother and sister after everything that's transpired?
That's a great question. I would love for the audience to wonder. I mean, I would like to think that they take whatever money they have and they fulfill whatever hedonistic madness that they're going to fulfill, because I think that would be an enjoyable movie to watch. I don't think that would be a great thing for two people to go and do, but I think that that's probably what they would do. They'd probably cut loose and be like natural born killers or something. I don't know.
They're just on a tragic spiral at that point.
Yeah, I think so. It's like I don't really know what they're going to do or how they're going to resolve things.
Would you like to revisit the subject matter again in another film, something along this lines?
In another movie?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I think it's difficult to say certain things again without giving things away. But yeah, I mean, the darkness of this was a lot. That was quite taxing, as you asked, quite astutely. So it's nice to have a break, I think, from darkness like that. But I certainly enjoy the subtext that is carried out through the characters. It's sort of less obvious little fights or arguments that they're having silently.
For those that are coming into this film, what would be your advice to them on what to expect? Because like I said earlier, I was not expecting what I saw. So it took me off guard. So for people that are going to watch it, what would be your advice to them on how to approach it?
I would say expect little and experience, just go with the flow of a strange experience, maybe. It's more a feeling than a film, which I think is cool. I think that there's so much that mimics everything else, so it's interesting to see something different.
All right, Rhys, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for giving me a call. And my final question is, when and where can people see The Grandson? And there's also a second title for the movie, I believe. It's not known as The Grandson everywhere, right?
Correct. I believe the official title is The Grandson now, and it is released August 14th on VOD by Unforced Entertainment. Yeah. But The Grandson is its official title.
Okay, that'll work. I just didn't want to give people the wrong name and they're searching and I don't see this anywhere. Awesome. Thank you very much, Rhys. You did a spectacular job. I was quite amazed and quite glad to see something like this today. It was just what I needed.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you saying that.
Not a problem. You have yourself a good weekend. I hope to see you in something like this again because it would be a real treat.
Hey, thanks so much.